Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your, I guess you're wrapping up for Doom Patrol. Now, originally the plan was for me to record this after Fandom, after DC's Fandom, but since last minute announcement, they announced, oh no, we're gonna schedule majority of our TV panels to September. So I am not waiting to do this till September because I have a schedule and have other stuff to do. So, and we're kind of scheduled for hiatus pretty soon. So, with that being said, however, I decided to say screw it. If they announce something, I mean, it would have been really, really awesome for them to have announced Season 3 at Fandom this coming Saturday, which would have already happened by this point, but since, because I'm gonna guess is this, it just didn't work with their schedule, from what I'm guesstimating. That's fine. That's respectful. I'm not trying to criticize them. That's their scheduling. It just kind of like ruins me because in fact I don't know if there's going to be a season 3. Like I'm 95% certain they were going to announce season 3 at Fandom because there would be literally no reason to do a panel if they were not going to come back. I mean, let's say that. Let's say if they had announced like, oh, the Swamp Thing cast is reunited. Do you really expect them to not announce, oh, hey, we're doing season 2? I mean, it's just obvious that they're going to make a season 3. It's gonna happen, considering the fact there was a 10th episode in the works. So I'm pretty sure HBO Max would be dumb enough not to renew it for season 3. So with that being said, I don't even need to start a hashtag because I am 95% certain there is going to be a Doom Patrol season 3. It was going to be announced at Fandom this weekend, but it will probably be announced on September 12th, which is the new date for all the TV shows, the DC Watchverse as they call it. So yeah, with that being said, however, let's get down to it. Let's talk about Season 3 of Doom Patrol and what do I expect to see now. Again, this will contain spoilers for Season 2 of Doom Patrol, so if you haven't seen Doom Patrol Season 2 yet, go watch it. It's available on HBO Max and DC Universe as long as that subscription service is still up. You can catch our Season 2 review, which is uploaded last week, where I just talk about both spoiler-free and spoiler-filled on the second season of Doom Patrol, as well as you can catch all of our episode reviews, all 9 episodes of Season 2, also on our channel, so go check that out. You literally, we've covered all the bases. I talked about everything, the episodes, the seasons. Let's talk about next season. Let's see. What do I want to see? So for the story overall, yeah, it's going to be interesting with the whole, like, how does the show tackle on finishing up Season 2 as well as starting up its own third season? Do we see them expand the story of Season 2 to, expand the story of Season 2 into Season 3, maybe expanding some elements to it, of it just to kind of continue that storyline, or do we see something new? Like, I just don't know. Like, it's a similar thing to when Titans, its original final was going to end up, spoilers for this, the Trigon stuff, and then they move on to Deathstroke. And then Season 2 began with, no, the Season 2 premiere is just finishing up the Trigon stuff, and then the remaining of the season is just Deathstroke. They could easily do that. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do, is that they're just going to copy and paste the original plan Season 2 finale, and they were going to pick that up as a Season 3 premiere, maybe set up some of elements for, like, the fallout for that episode to be the crux point for Season 3. That's my opinion, though. But in terms, like, in storyline, Mr. Nobody was such a great villain in Season 1 that we physically got to saw him. We got to see his actor perform it. And I don't quite think, personally, for me, this, like, the CW or DC Universe or even now HBO Max, I don't think they quite perfected doing villains that aren't in the physical base. That means like actual actors being on camera to perform. I don't think they've mastered that quite yet. So with that being said, however, I would love for them to return to a villain in Season 3 that is more physical based, like having an actor on screen to like play off the characters than just a CGI mess, or not a CGI mess, but like a CGI character as / a disembodied voice. Like that's been done to death, in my opinion. I just don't want Season 3 to follow that thing, because again, I'm being completely honest here, Candlemaker, interesting voice, but I just didn't think he was a really good villain. My opinion, though, even though I have watched the entirety of season 2, I just don't think he was a pretty decent villain. I think he was just, I don't know, he was kind of like, because I think I heard an interview, not about Doom Patrol, but just in general about superhero adaptations, is that the main thing you're writing for is the heroes. That's the main thing you're writing for. And then when you're writing, you gotta write the hero's journey, you gotta write the story. The last thing they focus on is the villains. And of course, obviously, when you have movies such as Black Panther or Infinity War or even Flash Season 1, where they can balance all those elements and craft a great villain, it just, that isn't the excuse anymore. At least for me personally, as, having watched so many superhero adaptations over the many, many years I've been alive, I just don't think Doom Patrol, I just didn't think Candlemaker was just a great villain. So I would like to see a villain in Season 3 just be in the physical, like, if that sounds weird to say. I just want to see an actor on screen or actress and just play that. Like, Miranda could be an amazing villain for season 3. I think she could, or whoever this Miranda is. I think she could easily lead it. But again, this is predictions. I could be wrong. Again, I have no real lore on Doom Patrol. Like, I don't know the franchise. I don't know what villains they've faced before in the comics. I don't legitimately know. So if you're commenting to me like, oh, what about this film? What about this film? I honestly don't know. Like, I really don't know the comics. I really don't know. So I can't really say, like, if this was like a Spider-Man thing, like, oh, they can go here, they can go there, maybe even Batman, but it's like, no, this is Doom Patrol. Like, I just don't know. Like, they could just easily pick another DC villain that isn't a Doom Patrol villain and just put them here, but I just don't have a, like, no matter what, Doom Patrol always shines through in the characters, and that's kind of where my focus will be mostly on this prediction video. So I think season 3 story overall should continue where season 2 left off, where I want to keep seeing the issues and the trauma that these characters have had and continue their journey. Do I think this is the season where they finally forgive Niles? Absolutely not. I think that's still something that's a little bit ways down the road. I don't think it's going to be something we're going to see fairly soon. But I do want to see them continue to deal with their trauma, especially Larry, especially Vic, especially Rita. Jane and Cliff are just basically in like different spots. So I mean, I can include Jane too. Cliff is kind of like in that interesting spot where he's kind of beginning to like recover from his trauma. He's morally trying to like now, be a better person, be now a father, potential grandfather to his future grandkid. But I guess where I would like to see... Actually, let's start with the characters now. I think I've rambled enough about what I want to see of the story. What do I want to see of the characters? Cliff is in a very interesting place next season, whereas every other character is kind of like they're still in the process of resolving their problems and resolving their griefs. Cliff has kind of accepted them and kind of moved on from them, and now he's at that point where he has reconnected with his daughter. She wants him to be a part of her life again, and that's great for Cliff. And now, with there being a wedding coming up and the grandkid on the way, Cliff's going to be in that very interesting position where I want to see him get torn between two families, where they just mentioned it as a joke in the end of season 2, but I want to see this more expanded on in season 3. I want to see Cliff struggle. Like, does he choose his blood family, because, he's a robot, or does he choose his new family with the Doom Patrol? Like, that would just be, like, for me, that would be very interesting, because I want to see that moral conflict in him, where for years all he's wanted is to be normal, but he can't be normal. And, ever since he's found out his family's alive, of course he's going to want to try and reconnect with them, and he has. But now the question is that, does he start spending more of his time with her and maybe trying to figure out a new life for himself to be close to her, or does he remain with his current family that has been with him for many, many decades? Like, that's just the question that I want to see him go through. I want to see him struggle with it. Like, have moments where he is siding with the Doom Patrol, but he is missing out more of his daughters or in the future grandkids' lives. I want to see that happen. I want to see him go through that turmoil and go through that struggle, because that's kind of the next step in his recovery. Is like choosing and figuring out what the best path of him is for the remaining of his robotic life whatsoever. Speaking of robotics, Vic is in a very interesting place again. Again with the cliffhanger and all. Like, he still has that thing to deal with Rory. Like, I'm pretty sure those two are gonna come to blows again. It's definitely not like, oh, Rory's that was the last time Rory saw Vic. No, she's definitely gonna pop up again, and I get this feeling that Vic should begin to second question more of his actions, since I want to see Rory do some more unspeakable things and have Vic kind of question, like, did he do the right thing about helping her in the original start of things? Does he regret not trying to do something sooner or try to find her earlier, like especially in that the season 2 penultimate episode? Like, I want to see him kind of question his character, like, you know, does he continue being a superhero and stop Rory, or does he try to like be human and try to like continue to fall in love with Rory? Well, not fall in love, but like trying to like appease to Rory, but also risk everyone else in the process. I feel like that's his next direction as a superhero. Well, superhero, that's what I mean. Because like, even though he was a hero to certain people, he wasn't necessarily like that globe-trotting hero everyone knows about from the comics or stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's what I would love to see him go next, and just have that. Maybe even have. I don't want to expound upon his daddy. I say daddy issue like very loosely. Like, I don't want to see him like. I would like to see him and his father kind of like grow to the next stage, but I don't want them to be the focus. I feel like Vic and Rory are enough to handle next season. I mean, depending on how many episodes we get next season, hopefully it's another 10. But yeah, that's where I would like to think. That's where I would like for things to go. Sorry, drinking tea. Anyway, yeah, Larry. Yeah, Larry. Larry has to go through the struggle of figuring out himself still, or at least deciding which version of himself he wants to go around. Because in these past few seasons, we've seen Larry have flashbacks, have traumatic flashbacks to when he was still just a pilot with a secret and a family, and trying to be a good father to his kids, trying to be a decent husband to his wife, and, you know, having the secret double life. We've been having him see the traumatic effects of his decisions and seeing them resonate over the many decades later. And then especially with last season, seeing his family, his own family. Again, the reversal of Cliff, where Cliff was, with some hesitation, eventually accepts him and, you know, wants him to be back in her life. While for Larry, like, briefly he thought that, like, yeah, they want me back. Like, maybe I'll consider moving in or something like that. But then no, they just were still afraid of him, and they wanted the government to take him away. But, you know, they didn't, like, he wasn't, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. He wasn't, they were never planning on to. They were just planning on just putting him away. Jesus Christ, my hair is a mess. And I fucked up my hair even more. Oh, God, I fucked it up. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, so where I want to see Larry go next season is definitely decide, like, what path does he want to go on. Does he want to still be Negative Man, i.e. with the negative spirit, and just try to live life as a new person, move on from Larry? Or does he still hold out and trying to be Larry and maybe trying to find a new way to, like, kind of explore that life, maybe even trying to reconnect with his family again? You know what I mean? This show's pretty crazy. And then with Jane, well, let's go with Rita. Jane's kind of like something more bigger. Rita, I just want to see her get more love. I mean, this season, I don't think they did enough for Rita, and I can't even blame the pandemic. I highly doubt the last episode was going to really give more to Rita to do. I just didn't see that, to be honest with you. And even with that being said, however, I don't know, like, I just didn't see Rita have that much. I think, like, out of the ensemble cast, she was the one to not get the most scenes or not get the most attention. In my opinion, that's what I personally think. Next season, I would like for her to get a little bit more of the spotlight. Like, we definitely left her in an interesting place with, like, you know, her blocking out her mother and, like, now having to, like, remember all those and having to now accept that. Is going to be interesting. Do we see her as the beekeeper turn out anyone? I highly doubt. Like, I just want her to become Elastic Woman already. But even with that being said, however, I just feel like there's more to do with Rita. That I don't think. I think season 2 was just kind of like we're getting there. Like, we got the foundation there. We're building the steps, but we're not there yet. When will we get there? I don't know. I would like for season 3 just for her to, like, get more of the attention. You know, have her deal with her mother problems further. And then maybe trying to figure out this psychological battle she's still in, you know, with trying to be a superhero. Like, she still has some trauma left to be unpacked, and that's where I want to see her grow in season 3. Jane. Jane's in a very tight spot right now with being stuck in the underwater realm of the world of the underworld and the underground. And now realizing there's another personality up there that may not be belonged here, if that makes any sense. That's seemingly trying to take over. Like, how does Jane now fight for her mind to take control? That's going to be something that, like, I can't even tell, because, like, the whole psychological game of the underground is just so confusing to me. Like, I can't even begin to, like, predict, like, where could they go? What direction could they take? I just honestly don't know, and my hair's already starting to fall apart. Damn this humidity. So yeah, that's where but in terms of Jane as a character, like, I want her to, like, kind of, like, it's so weird, like, because Jane as the personality is the main personality. We know her as Crazy Jane, but we know there's another, like, original personality, and there's a lot of other personalities in the body, so I would like to see there be more of a better balance between them, but have them figure it out in their own way, and figure out where the hell did this fake Miranda come from, and, you know, what's, like, is there a much more deeper story here than, you know, we imagine. Niles is, again, like, I don't want to say this is, like, here's the thing. Timothy Dalton, such a great actor, such a powerful character actor, doing a great job as Niles. Honestly, the thing is that they still mention him as a special appearance. Like, he is part of the main cast, but they don't want to say he's part of the main cast, because I think he's just too big to be part of the main cast. He's just like special appearance. I could easily see this being Niles' last season. I could even believe, like, let's just say hypothetically Niles dies in the finale of the original finale, season 2. I could have easily imagined that, because the only thing I could plausibly think for him to stay longer is that they somehow, like, transferred Candlemaker's powers to Niles just to give immortality. That's the only thing I can think of. I can't really think of them figuring out any quicker way to bypass an immortality issue, because, again, Kipley has his, you know, relic or necklace that prevented him from aging. He still has that, but he's not going to give it up for free. Like, sure, he's a nice dude at times, but he's not going to, like, hand over the key of immortality back to Niles. That's definitely not going to happen. He'll stick around, like, in case they do find a way, but I just don't see them handling that going forward. But if Niles was to survive another season, I would like for him to, like, for that to be his final season. Sure, again, like, having this cursed or looming faith go over you in a TV show has a 50-50 chance of, like, working out and having it just be a botched debacle. It could go either way. I can hopefully see them figuring out how to fix that, or at least make that more interesting. But personally, for me, I just don't see them doing that. So I do see them, like, just accepting Niles' fate, and just him. His goal for the last season is to figure out a way to, like, keep Dorothy safe, to try to figure out, like, to keep Dorothy happy and alive after he's gone, and, you know, have him have a righteous send-off. Okay, if they expand him to season 4, if we do get one, I'm perfectly fine with that. If anything, if he was to go, let next season be his last season. That's what I'm saying. As for Dorothy being the new, still new, she's still new. Again, she was the cliffhanger in season 2, where she goes off to potentially fight the Candlemaker. I could easily see them. I have a crazy thing. I don't know anything about, you know, Dorothy or her the species in the DC universe. I don't know anything about it, or Candlemaker. I could easily see them going in the direction of Dorothy went to, like, a parallel world and she stayed there for so long, and then she aged up to, like, becoming a teenager, or becoming, like, a young, no, like, having a new actress take over. Again, the actress who plays Dorothy right now is great. I think she did a wonderful job in season 2. I would like for her to come back in season 3, but I'm just saying, if they really want to radically change the field and age her up, like, that could be just the perfect explanation for, why does she go through the portal? Why does she, you know, what happens in that other, like, wherever she went? That could be an easily plausible excuse, and an excuse to, like, you know, maybe give a different direction for Dorothy, and maybe have her learn a lot and have her change as a character, and give us some interesting opportunities to continue. Like, that, for me personally, that would be my my direction of choice. But again, it's up to the writers. But I would like to. But if we were going to focus back on just Dorothy at the current age, and because that's the thing with child actors or actresses, is that, you know, whenever you're doing adaptations at a very slower pace, those actors are the first ones to like, we need to think about doing something to age them up or getting rid of them or figuring out a way. That could be plausible. I don't know which one's the best path, but if we were going to see Dorothy continue to be a kid, definitely seeing her like starting to learn more about her family, her other family side, and the greater calling she has. Would be an interesting dynamic for her and Niles to deal with next season. Like maybe she wants to explore more of that, but Niles doesn't want her to. He wants her to stay as a kid, to stay innocent, to not be in danger. So any other miscellaneous information? I'm going to have to guess, when do I see season 3 happening, if it does get confirmed? Well, I was going to easily say 2021. That would be simplest answer, number one. But with the pandemic and everything, like, I just don't know. Like, there's just so many TV shows and so many movies that are still struggling to get back to production that are going on right now, let alone, like, let's start a whole new season. It's so difficult for how does everything work out, because, like, I don't know, like, I could see easily, like, states limiting the amount of productions that are allowed there, and I must imagine Vancouver's a mess right now since of all the CW shows that film down there, LA with all the movie shoots, Georgia with being, like, the state after California to get all the filming. I'm just so curious to see how they're going to handle that. But also not, like, overextended. Like, I could easily see them limiting, like, let's say an example, like, 20 productions are allowed to film in one state, and that's it. Like, once a production ends, the next one can go in, just so, like, because the problem is that, again, I know states have to make business, states have to make money, drive attention for tourism. I understand that, I get that. But the issue that remains is that the safety of people. And Doom Patrol, I forgot where it's filmed. I'm not sure if it's filmed in Georgia too or filmed somewhere else. I honestly don't know. I never kept track of it. But I would like to see a 2021 release date. I would like for them to be back by next year and just continue their journey from there. How does that shake out? How does that play out? I honestly don't know. I could easily see them punting it back to 2022 just to be safe, but my gut says next year. The Doom Patrol will be back next year. Between Dorothy's actress getting older, I feel like they want to get a production on that fairly soon. How do they work with all the production loopholes and the safety guidelines? We'll see how that goes. But I would definitely see Doom Patrol coming back next year on HBO Max. And I would not be surprised if they announced next season that Doom Patrol Season 3 will be an HBO Max exclusive. Like, no DC Universe crossing. Because I feel like, yeah, they've already announced that before this, that all the DC Universe shows are moving to HBO Max. They're going to be continuing there. So, again, they wouldn't say that if it wasn't for deals in play. I don't think they would have said that if they were not going to renew Doom Patrol for another season. So I do definitely see we'll be back next year for another round of reviews. Hopefully it is next year. I want to say sooner than later. Like, if they get the ball rolling by the end of the year, I could see this coming out next summer. Once all the post is done. Again, it's a pipe dream. It's like with the pandemic and all, everything's under whack. Like, even like the next television season in general, which I was supposed to review this September and October. It's been punned back to January. Also, my hair's falling apart, so I'm going to have to end this soon because I look like a mess. Not a hot mess, just a mess. Yeah, so I just definitely, earliest summer 2021. That's what my prediction to when we'll see Doom Patrol come back again. So with that being said, however, let me know in the comments, what do you guys want to see in Season 3? What do you hope to see in Season 3? Will you be watching Season 3? Do you agree with many of my predictions? Or you got any of your own? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to the conversation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been our coverage for Doom Patrol Season 2 for 2020. Here on What's on the Tube. I'm going to miss it. I love Doom Patrol so much. I love these characters. I was glad to see another round of them this year. I hope to see them again next year. Hopefully under better circumstances. Hopefully. Who knows? I am very excited to see where things go for next season. But otherwise, Season 2, been a fun ride. Been a fun distraction during COVID. Got a great reason to get the HBO Max, which there's still plenty of stuff to come on the service, so I can't wait to see what else they have to offer. Besides it, that's a wink for the next review series. But that's a conversation for another day. That's not today. So, if you're unaware, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's on the Tube, besides our now wrapped Doom Patrol Season 2 content. Well, sadly to say, we're wrapping up our other shows right now. We did coverage on Stargirl throughout the last 3 months. We're wrapping that up next week with the Season 2 predictions. And then we also did Perry Mason coverage, which we did every Monday. But that's wrapping up next Monday as well with the Season 2 predictions as well. So we're kind of wrapping to a close. There is no new show to announce yet. No review series to announce after this point. We're going on hiatus after Stargirl Season 2 predictions are wrapped up. It's only a brief hiatus. It's only 6-7 weeks. Then we'll be back with the next one. But that's after September. So we'll be back in October. So I don't want to announce anything now because everything's still tentative. Everything's still like very much under... It's all subject to change, you know, and oh my god, my hair is a fucking mess. So with that being said, yeah, that's just not really much to say because we're not coming back anytime soon. But if you are curious, we have done a lot of stuff. We've done like now. This is 121, the overall episode count. So if you want to check out, we have done a lot of stuff before. So check them out in our backlog if you're curious and still binging. But yeah, if you want to, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of What's in the Tube, or maybe just stuff we make, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube.com. Ring the bell for notifications when the next thing is live. Like, favorite, share if you want to. But it does help us out in the long run, as well as ring. No, I said ring. Follow us on social media to be up to date on stuff. My hair's a mess. I give up. Thank you so much to the Fan Patrol who has been sticking around since the first episode review for Season 2. It has been a blast of 11 weeks. Almost 3 months of doing this. I love you all. I hope you're all being safe, being good to each other. Hopefully, we'll be back next year for Season 3. You know, hopefully I'll be back in this chair or maybe a different setup. Who knows? Doing another round of Doom Patrol reviews. But until then, thanks for the ride. Hope you subscribe longer or stick around longer. Maybe we'll see each other again in the future. So, even with that being said, I'll see you guys sometime down the road.